Hi, everybody. I hope y'all are doing well. I hope y'all are having a great day today. If you're new here, I want to welcome you to School of Scarlet, where we talk about the power of unconditional love. And so today we are continuing on with our play series. Originally, I started these videos with a video titled Life is Nothing But Play. And I've made a couple other videos. So if you're interested in those, you can go back and watch those. They're the videos previous to this. And I'll be making quite a few more I have in store. So what I'm going to do is create a playlist around play. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out under my playlist. And so today we're going to be talking about play and the energetics of play. In the previous video, we talked about play and movement. And so this is kind of going along with play and movement. I was going to go into play and communication next, but I think that right now would be a good time to share about play and movement and then go into play and energetics because they're very similar in how they work. And so, play and movement, we talked about all the different ways that we can move our bodies and the benefits of that. And also, what can happen when we don't move, when we're not playful, and how that can really take the joy and what feels like love out of a lot of different situations. So, now that we've talked about the power of play and movement, maybe you have gotten to move around a little bit more if you haven't, or maybe you're continuing on with your movement practice that you are already doing, whether that's, exercise, yoga, dance, interpretive dance, swimming. There's endless ways to move in a playful and fun manner. And so, today we're kind of going into that. So, as you play and move, you'll start to begin to notice, is your body connected with your head? And so many people, especially women now, and we're talking a little bit more on the feminine side here on this video, but there's a lot of wisdom there from men as well because this is an energetic thing. So, where I'm talking about women, I'm also talking about men because we both contain the masculine and the feminine within us, right? So, it's not really a gender thing. But when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about generally women, right? A lot of them are really working a lot lately and are very focused on careers and having these long to-do lists and super moms and all of this. I've been in that realm myself. I was and tried to be super mom, and I tried to be the best employee and all of these things. So we get into these things, and a lot of times that really separates us from our body, our lower body. So we're really just functioning from here up. And so, what kind of play can really occur when we're only functioning with our head? And so, sometimes you've heard this phrase say, I'm so much in my head. And what that means is really you're not connected. You really have to always be connected with all parts of yourself. Your arms, your hands, your legs, everything has to be in connection. And so when someone says that they're so much in their head, it's really just sharing with someone that, hey, right now they're not they're a little disconnected from everything and they're just really stuck in this kind of intellectual thinking loop, right? And so, what can happen is if we're really stuck in our head, whether that's because of work, stress, whatever ends up happening, our play is very limited to the only kind of play you can do with your head, which is like chess or, playing certain intellectual board games, things like that, mind type of games. And as we know, those games can be fun, but they're not as fun as moving your body, as, chasing after someone, playing with someone, dancing, making love, running, sweating, really getting your endorphins and everything going. You really need your whole body to be engaged and to really have a good, playful relationship. Let's say you're having a relationship with someone, you really have to be engaged and connected in all of your body, and especially in romantic relationships. As you can tell with making love and stuff like that, you definitely have to have a connection with your whole body, not just your head, or you're really going to be limiting the amount of joy and pleasure that you could be having. So you want to translate that also not just into your romantic relationships, but the same can happen for friendships. Same can happen for work relationships and, raising children, all this stuff. If we take the playful element out of it, if we remove that, it's going to be a very limited sort of relationship you're going to be able to have. And you're really limiting the intimacy and the level of joy and pleasure that you could get out of a relationship. So we want to bring in that element of play. So play, when we're talking about the energetics of play, which is what this video is going to be more focused on, play is the activator. Play is the life. So when we're talking about play, we're talking about life. If we think about what's happening, the way I see it, nothing's happening. Literally, the way that I see it, there is nothing happening. There's no movement, there's no you, there's no me, there's no nothing. But what activates all of this is this magical element of play. So when there is nothing happening, when this illusion is just there, what brings it to life is energy. And we've heard many different scientists, from Tesla to Einstein, talk about how everything is energy, everything is frequency, everything is vibration. And really, they focused on these things to really bring attention to the fact that that is what our universe is inherently made out of and what is actually happening. So, the way I see it, nothing is happening. But then energy or vibration or frequency, whatever you want to call it, or maybe you want to call it life, or maybe you want to call it God, whatever you want to call it, is happening. That is what's happening and running through everything. That is the thread that is running through everything. And so when we talk about energy and frequencies, they are vibrating at different levels and doing different things. So what I talk about in my work, in my School of Scarlet, is unconditional love. And that vibrates at a very high level. And there's a lot of transformation there. There's a lot of alchemy there. But right at that level, and maybe just a little bit underneath it, is play. The frequency, the vibration of play is very, very high. And it's almost as high as unconditional love. So it has this nature to it to also be able to transform, to also be able to bring immense amounts of love and joy to any situation. So when you're having a hard time, play can also be an alchemizer just like love. So let's say that you're having trouble in a relationship with someone, or let's say that something is not going well for you, or you're working and struggling so hard at something, you're about to give up. Well, just like I talk about unconditional love and kind of inserting that love to alchemize and change the energy of that, you can do that with play as well. So where there's that relationship that's struggling, let's make it a little more playful. Let's play with our mate. Let's, remind them of things of when we fell in love. Let's be playful. Let's tease. Let's, do some word play. Let's do something out of the ordinary. Let's do something spontaneous. So you bring a little bit of play into that relationship and it begins to transform and it begins to allow for that space of love to come back in. Same thing can happen at work when work is getting stale, when it's getting boring. Boring is a sort of a feeling like you're literally imprisoned, but you're not. And it's this feeling of not really having play. We don't know what that feeling is consciously, but subconsciously, what it is that we're missing play. We're wanting a little bit of play, we're wanting a little bit of joy. And so when we're bored at work and these sorts of things are happening, what you can do is bring a little element of play to it. And that begins to alchemize it, just like I talk about unconditional love. So you can do simple things. We could turn on the radio and start to listen to the radio, and that might be enough. Or you can sing along to the radio while you work, or maybe while you work, you might want to put a little dance into it while you're doing your job. Maybe you want to have fun with your customers or whatever you're interacting with at work. You can throw in a little joke, a little tease. Things like this will lighten the mood and begin to change and alchemize those situations. Same thing for your children, when you're having, maybe everybody's having a bad day, maybe everybody's cranky. We want to just change things up, do something spontaneous, really throw them off guard. Maybe every Monday y'all go to, I don't know, maybe the library. How about you change it up? This time we're going to go somewhere really amazing. We're going to go to the water park, just really change things up or just make it playful, in the car. Let's play a game. Let's play I Spy, whatever. or let's play, who can find such and such license plate. You know, you throw little simple things of play into anything and it transforms it instantly. So, this is the power of play. And like I say, when we're talking about frequencies, when we're talking about vibrations and all of this, it is very high up there, just like unconditional love or love. And so it is vibrating just at that level, basically, to have the same sort of effects that you would get from unconditional love. Only maybe play is something that's more understandable and relatable amongst everybody. So sometimes when I talk about unconditional love, I get, oh, there's no such thing as unconditional love. That doesn't exist. Well, it does, but maybe you haven't been exposed to it, you haven't felt it. It hasn't really happened for you, but it's not to say it doesn't exist. It exists. But when we talk about play, a lot of people can relate to play. You know, you don't get such answers. People know what play is. People have been playing since they're babies. This is something that they know. So, one way to really begin to change things within your environment now is to just infuse a little play into everything. And all of these things that pop up, such as desires, wants, needs, whatever happens, those are just invitations to play and really see them as something playful, not as something to be dreaded, to be avoided, or anything like that. We're accepting life, we're loving it, and we're playing with it. We're playing with life and we're making life work for us. We're playing with it, having fun. And those times that things aren't that much fun, we gotta look and see how to make them fun. And if they're just plain no fun, we can get rid of that. We don't need to exactly engage with everything that we come in contact with. Just like when we were children, we didn't play with everything. I didn't really particularly like to play with blocks, so I chose not to play with blocks. I walked past the blocks. I didn't purchase blocks. I didn't play with children that played with blocks. I played with other things. I played with dolls. So, just like that, you can choose in your life now what you want. And this is what manifestation is. And I've talked about this in other videos, but I'm kind of tying it in just to really show you that all of this is really together. All of this is always working together. These are the energetics of how things work. So, play is also the same energetic of manifestation. In order to manifest, you have to imagine, you have to play and pretend that you have it now, and you have to believe you have it now, and then you will receive it. And that's just how it works. That's just the energy of this all. And it's just happening naturally. So that's just to say that we're just exploring a little bit of that play energy. And the play energy can also be dualistic and split. And oftentimes that is exactly how it works. It works using masculine energy and feminine energy. So just like a male and a female, like a woman like myself and a man can be in a romantic play where maybe the woman, is there and she has made herself very beautiful and is doing her thing, and maybe she's engaged in play, maybe she's dancing, maybe she's at the park around a fountain, maybe reading or dancing or singing or something. And then there comes the man, and the man sees a woman in play and likes that because men are activated by seeing that energy. And so seeing that energy activates the man, and the man can now play with the feminine energy and will come and be attracted to it. And now the feminine energy can receive whatever he wants. Maybe he wants to take her out for lunch or a drink, or maybe he wants to dance with her or talk to her. So she receives that and they begin to dance. They begin to play in the energetic dance of what is play. Same thing happens constantly in play and in life with everything. Like I mentioned, work, employment, your relationships, even with your pets. Everything's a give and take. Your relationships at maybe you're involved in clubs, organizations, things like that, friendships. They're always a give and take relationship. And there's always, more nurturing and kind of spirit to it, and then there's a more protective and containing spirit to it. So in my previous more maybe on my first video, or maybe on the very early videos, I had talked about how play can really only occur within safety. So you'll see that within safety, when it's not a wartime, or people are safe, you'll see women and children wearing more colorful outfits. You'll see women and children out more at parks, playing, doing more things. But if you think back at times that were like war zones or war times, women began to wear more grays, blacks. Same thing with men. Children did the same. And just plain hair colors, plain, hardly any makeup, that sort of thing. So color and play begins to diminish when there is this energy of negativity, of something being wrong. But in joy and happiness and love, in that higher energy that I was talking about, like unconditional love, you'll see women wearing big, beautiful, flowy dresses in the summer, playing, children playing, dancing, doing things. So, play happens within safety. So the energy of the masculine, which is the man, or it could be a woman, it doesn't really matter. It's just an energy. Some women are more masculine, some men are more feminine. That can happen as well. But generally, in the more masculine energy, that would be the man, as we see it, usually, it shows up in a containment way. So a man provides a home, the containment of a beautiful home, a home that's safe, that's clean, and so he provides the money, the care, and everything for the home, the care for the woman, the children, whoever is in the home, so that he's providing the containment and also providing the security and the money, and all that is all together. So protection and security, money, etc., are provided by the man and or the masculine energy. And the female or the feminine energy is receiving that, but in that she gains safety because she's contained in a nice, safe home with a nice protector who's protecting the home, protecting the children. He's vigilant over these things. So she doesn't have to worry about these things like safety or money or whatever. So now she can play. And so the feminine is represented, or the way that the feminine expresses itself is to play, is to cook up beautiful meals, to decorate the home beautifully, to dress herself up beautifully, to do her hair, do her makeup, dance, sing, play with the kids, have a good time with the kids, make everybody happy and playful. And, when the husband's grumpy, help him to come out of that, cheer him up, be a supporter. So the feminine energy is this light, playful energy. And the masculine is more of this protector, safeguard, and safety provider. So he's providing the safety, she's providing the play. But in turn, he actually needs that play in order to activate himself, in order to continue to provide. So it's the cycle. It's a cycle like everything else is, that everything is working upon each other, and everything is needed, and everything is in connection. So everything you see is actually connected. It's interconnected, and everything is one. And even greater than that, nothing is actually happening. But the way that it happens is through energy. And the energy, the main energy, is play. So if you want beautiful things to happen, if you want to have beautiful experiences in life, then you want to engage more in play. So I would encourage you, if you're looking to do or have more of this in your life, is to engage more in play. And some people have engaged a lot with play, and maybe now they're wanting to kind of, you know, tone down and relax, and that can happen too. So there's no right or wrong about this. This video is not to say that play is the only way, but play is an energy that is actually activating everything. Play is an energy that's actually running through everything and actually makes life happen. So it's quite beautiful and it's quite needed. So the more you play, the more life experiences, the more beauty you'll have, the more life you'll experience. And so I encourage you to play. It's just when everything else falls away, our true nature is play, is love, is these really high energies that are really animating everything that's really nothing at all. So it's really beautiful. And so if you have the opportunity to play, take it. And if there is any areas of your life that you're feeling are boring, that's a sign. That's a real good sign that it's time to infuse a little bit of play. So think about how you can do that. Use your creative mind and use your own personal uniqueness to bring some play into that. And you'll see how fun and interesting that can become for you. So if you like this video, I encourage you to give it a thumbs up. If you're new here and you like this sort of content, I really invite you to subscribe to my channel and come back. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for coming back. And returning viewers, thank you so much for coming back and viewing my videos. I really appreciate you all. And so thank you so much. Come back next time.